Should we start then? I'll just share my screen. Just let me know if you're able to see my screen. You guys are able to see my screen? Everyone? Fine, Mispa. Okay. Fine, let's start then. Today what we'll do is we'll cover these topics. This topic, let's leave it because theoretically we have covered it, but practically the output was not up to our expectation. So we'll see later on. We'll start with exporting a application, exporting a cross tab to the Microsoft Excel. Yeah. So let's use our dashboard only. And in this application we have so many data sources, right? So we'll use any of the data source, and let's see if we have any cross tabs in our application. Okay, so we have one in geo page, on geo page. Okay, fine. So what we'll do is we'll try to export it. So let's insert a button, or if we want to, that export we can do on any event basically. So what we'll do is we'll put a button to export the. Okay, so here is the button. I'm just putting auto height and auto width. So where exactly, let's see where exactly it will appear on our application. So this is the button. When we click on this button, what should happen is that cross tab, which we have somewhere on the geo analysis, this cross tab should export into Microsoft Excel. For that, we'll write a JavaScript on the click event of the button. The method is application dot export, and it requires export type. Either we can export into CSV, Excel, or XLX. There are two versions of Excel. Well, let's take XLX. What it will do is it will export all the cross tabs. Right now we have only one, but it will export all the cross tabs. So let's see for first, for with one cross tab, then we'll insert one more cross tab and see. So when you click on button, it's asking where you want to save your. So you can say save as HR dashboard. This is the name. You can save it. Then you can open. It will have the cross tab data. So this is your cross tab. So whatever data it has, the same data it will show in the Excel sheet. Okay, it will have two sheets basically. One is for data, another is for just, it will display the query properties from where the data is coming. So the data is coming from this file. Okay, and the name of the basically name of the tab will be whatever name of the component we have. So we have named it cross tab 1. You see, we have component called cross tab 1. So whatever name we give here, the same name will appear here also in the bottom. If we have multiple cross tabs, all the cross tabs will export into different sheets. So let's add one more cross tab. Cross tab 2, and let's assign a data source. Data source 2. Okay, fine. Data source 2. Now if you run and we export, it will export both the cross tabs. Let's see what is the data source 2. this is our data source 2. Okay, it's 1 minute. It's okay. Let's see first. I'm just opening it directly instead of saving. It's having only one cross tab, but we are expecting two. So cross tab 2 is not coming here. Why? Because if you see here, if you go to geo analysis, our cross tab 2 doesn't have any data. There is no data in cross tab 2. Only cross tab 1 has data. Why there is no data in cross tab 2 is we have already assigned the data source, but we have not loaded the data source. So there is no data in the data source. As you see, the load in script option is true. If you make it false, then the data is loaded at the startup only. So if now you export it, as you can see, now it has cross tab 1 and cross tab 2 both. And if you see in the dashboard also, both the cross tabs has data. Got it? So when you click on export button, what will happen is it will export all the cross tabs in the application which stores the data, which are showing the data. If it doesn't have the data, it will not export that particular cross tab. Is this clear? Guys, is it clear?
Rakesh, when we are doing export, so all the components should get exported, but how you are maintaining only that specific component will go
No,
to
no.
Excel?
Yeah, so this function will export only cross tab. It won't export anything else.
Okay. Export to Excel means only cross tab, right?
Yeah, only cross tab. If you want to export all the data and give it to user, right? For example, user is doing some analysis and he wants to export all the data. What you do is you put all the cross tabs in a hidden component and don't show it to user and then export it. Got it?
Okay.
Yeah. Now there will be one more requirement that there are 10 data sources and there are 10 cross tabs. Now based on some requirement, you want to export a particular cross tab only. You don't want to export all the cross tabs. So what you do is in the parameters, you give the cross tab name which you want to export. So okay, exact. Let me just copy paste the same name. This is my name of the component, right? So we have two cross tabs, but we want to export only one cross tab 1 only. Okay, so let's see now. We have data in both the cross tabs, but when we click on the button, only one cross tab is exported because we wanted to export only one. So that way you can do the selection also, which cross tab you want to export, which cross tab you doesn't want to export. You can give two buttons to user. Okay, this is for cross tab 1, this is for cross tab 2. Or another use case can be, for example, you can put export button to each of the chart at the bottom of the each chart. For example, here, right, we have an icon. Okay, so now we have one more icon for export. Hi, Krish. Yeah, so what we are doing is uh, we are seeing how to export the cross tabs. cross tab into Excel. So for that, what we did is we kept one button and we have written one. No, I'll just recap whatever we have done. We just started 10 minutes back only. So what we did is in the same application, we have inserted one button and we have named it as a export to Excel. And on click of event, what is happening is we are calling a method application.export method, and the export type is XLX. There are three types: CSV, XLS, or XLX. So we are using the third option. When we run this dashboard, what happens is if we click on the particular button, all the cross tabs in the application will be exported to the Excel. So if you click on this button, it's exported. You can save and open and share it. So you see there are two cross tabs, cross tab 1 and cross tab 2. There are two tabs with the data. Another two tabs, they are the basically query details from where this cross tab 2 data is coming. This cross tab 2 data is coming from here only. Cross tab 1 data is coming from here. Okay. So it will export all the applications. These are the two cross tabs we have in our application. These are the two cross tabs. Okay. If you want to export a particular cross tab instead of all the cross tabs, then we can give a name. Instead of this method, we can give a name also, which cross tab we want to export. So this is our cross tab name. We want to export only this particular cross tab. So now if we click and open, it exported only cross tab 1 because we have given this parameter. You export only cross tab 1. Cross tab 2 is not exported. We have cross tab 2 also. We have two cross tabs. So by this method we can control which cross tab we want to export, which cross tab we doesn't want to export. Okay, is it clear how to export cross tab into Excel? Is this clear, everyone?
Rakesh,
Yeah.
is it possible to with a single click, is it possible to have two different files for two separate cross tabs?
Yes, we can try that. Let's see. I have not tested, but we can try. What we can have is we can create. We can call the method 2 times, and let's see.
Is it going to put it in a single file or?
No, I think it will create two files. I guess it should create because we are calling two methods. One is here and another one. Okay, 1 minute. Let's save it. If okay, it's not creating the second one.
Yeah.
What you can
the first script.
no. Then what you can do is you can use a timer component. There's a component timer which can delay. Basically, you can put a delay or pause.
Okay. So delay of 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Or
what should happen? How the timer component will work is on export button. We have exported cross tab 1. After that, we'll start the timer. Now the timer is starting, and this method we will call in the timer. The second method we'll call in the timer.
okay.
So on the timer, what should happen is once the timer started, this method should start, and timer we need to close also.
So half a second or maybe a millisecond you can add so that, it sort of calls the second script.
Correct. So let's, I'm just putting 5 seconds. So sometimes you can use timer to delay some scripts. You want to do something after 2 seconds. So for that purpose,
Okay.
you can use timer component.
Okay.
See if it works. No, it's not working, I guess. But the timer component is for delay. So there is no issue with the timer component. 5000 milliseconds I have given, I guess. No, it's exporting one only. It's not exporting the second one. Let me
Are
just.
you calling it within the button? Are you have you called that script for timer?
Yeah, timer we have started here.
Okay.
Once the timer is
Okay.
started, then timer will call. Timer basically it's kind of function only,
Okay.
but we can put a delay, 5000 milliseconds delay. And after that, let's put a alert message. Okay. I guess timer itself is not working. In local mode, I don't know why it's not working.
Can we, is it possible when we click multiple times, like a single click will give us the first cross tab and then second click will give us the second cross tab, something like that. I'm just, thinking of a scenario like that.
That we can do using if else condition. We can put a variable global.
Okay.
We can define a
Yeah,
global
okay.
variable, right? We can
All right.
increase its
Okay,
value to
that would
1
be
to 2.
possible.
Yeah. So that way you can do it.
It will count the number of clicks. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Anyways, let me just try it. I'll try it
All right.
how to export 2 cross tabs in 2 files basically. So I'll try it. But what the use case basically, what kind of use case it will be like? See, if you have this chart and if user is interested in this particular chart, you can put a export button here itself. Somewhere here. And this export button, when they click, it should export only this particular chart data.
Okay.
Okay. And this data, this chart data, you create a cross tab, you hide that cross tab somewhere. For example, let's create a cross tab here only and we'll hide it. So it's in the back and it's saying it's not visible. It won't be visible and we'll assign, this is role data source, role chart. So we'll assign role data source to it. Now, one minute. Is the, this is the icon. and what is the cross tab name is cross tab 3, or we can say cross tab for role. So you can export it. So user will have the data. Similarly, you can put such images or such icons wherever you want in your dashboard. So this will give you, okay, you are exporting this data, or you want to export the length of service data, you want to export gender diversity data. So that particular data source, you can export it. So this is one use case. Is this clear?
Yes.
Okay. Why this is hidden? Let me just show it also. Okay. Fine. So export to Excel is clear. So next is okay, let's start.
Rakesh,
Yeah, Dev.
Rakesh, from previous session,
Yeah.
I was trying to achieve the share bookmark. Okay. So when I was doing that, so when I'm sharing the bookmark, my first issue, when I'm opening the shared URL, the bookmark pop-up also coming on top of the reports, which I don't want. And okay, so how to avoid that? Because I want only the background report only. The bookmark should not come, but bookmark also coming.
Okay, so where is that mark pop-up? Let me just, this is the pop-up, right? Let me just run it and then we'll
Yeah.
okay. So this is the bookmark we have created. I am deleting everything. Okay. Now we selected HR. Let's selected HR. Okay. And we are
Right.
saving with HR. We are saved the bookmark. It's there. Now you want to share this bookmark. You have shared the
Yes.
bookmark.
Send to your email ID.
Okay.
Okay, or you can open it directly. No.
Yeah. So let me just open it here only. Okay. So this is opening, right? Now what you can
Yes.
do is, because see, in this state we have saved the application, correct? So before adding, what you can do is you can close this pop-up window also. On the save bookmark, before saving into bookmark, what you do is pop-up one dot close. So bookmark is closed now. Okay. And after that you can open pop-up again. Clear?
Okay.
Let's try now what happens. So let's delete all the bookmarks. Selected IT. IT is saved. Okay. Now share the bookmark. This is clear?
I didn't understand the logic. Can you come again on the logic side? Yeah.
See, on the click of save bookmark button, what we did is, before creating the bookmark, right, before saving the bookmark, what we did is we have closed the pop-up, this pop-up. This is the pop-up, right?
Okay.
So we have closed the pop-up. So now we have closed the pop-up. Okay. Now we are saving the bookmark. Actual save will happen now after closing the pop-up. Okay. This is a statement for save. In the last, again you open the pop-up, because if you don't open the pop-up, what will happen is, for example, if someone has saved a pop-up for role 2, if you just save it, role 2, and you save it, automatically this window will close. So that also you can do. Or else, if you want to keep this window open, you can again open it in the last. And user will not see that difference because it's closing and opening again. It's too fast.
Understood. Yes. Good. Very good idea. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, what we will do is calculate a value. We have done this, right? Calculate a value using local and global script variables. We have used global variable as well as script variable also. So global variable will define at the application level. We select the application. In the application properties, we can define global variables here. So global variables are defined once but used across the application. In multiple scripts you can use. But a local variable you will be using in the local script only. Either you can use in a global script, you can define a variable here. But if you now you can't refer this variable outside the script. You can use inside the script only. So this is local to this particular script. Okay.
Come again on the global variables. Just show me.
Yeah, global variable.
Okay, startup. Na?
On the startup properties, you can define your global variables. Okay.
But Rakesh, startup is something different and global script variables is something different, right?
No. On startup only you need to define your variables. So you will define at the time of startup, but you can use these variables wherever you want in other scripts also. Like for example, we have defined one variable. Let's define variable B. It's integer type and initial value is 0. Now you can refer this variable anywhere in other scripts also. For example, if you want to refer here B equal to 3, that you can do because we have already defined this variable there. We are not defining this variable now again. We are using this variable. So you can use a variable. If you have defined a global variable, you can use across scripts.
Okay.
Okay.
So only to define variables we go to global script or something else also.
No, but whatever variable you define there, right? You can use across scripts. Okay. And sometimes you need a variable which you want for that particular script only. So no need to go and define in global script. You can use a local variable for that.
Okay. So how many types of variable here? Like one is global and second one is local, huh?
Yeah. But global variable has more features. If you go to global variable, there is a last component, last tab, last column you see, right? URL parameter. If you want to pass this value as a variable into your Bex queries, because Bex will have variable, right? You want to pass this value as application variable, then you need to put this as a true. Then only you can pass away. And global, see, it gives you this, right? Name of the variable exposed as URL parameter must start with X. So if you're defining a variable which will pass the values to Bex queries, again, you need to start its value with X cal month or something.
So this has to be the same field name which is in Bex query, right?
No.
Same field name here also.
No. It should start with X. After that, whatever you can give, you can give. You can say design studio variable for month. You can give anything. It should start
Then how
with
it will pick the Bex query variables?
See, in the back.
I'm sorry,
if you go to, let's say, I'm just calling this, anywhere you can call this, right? So what you can do is application dot set variable. You will be setting the variable for Bex query. The variable name will be coming from Bex. So this is your
Okay.
cal month. This is coming from Bex. This
Okay.
is variable name, but the value which you are giving, right? The value either you can hard code the value, or you, if you want to change the value from, like you want to capture the value from the application and save it into the variable, right? That variable is X. That is the variable you will be
Just
using.
just to avoid the prompt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So for that, if you want to pass variable value, you need to use, you just change this parameter to URL parameter. If it is false by default, then you will not be able to use that variable, you will not be able to pass the value. So just take
Okay.
care of this parameter also, URL parameter thing.
So very important while working with Vex.
Yeah,
So
Bex variable.
same with HANA also. Same concept with HANA also.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Keep that coding there, na, with
Yeah, it's there.
comment mode.
It's there, I think. I'm not.
You deleted it.
Okay, I'll put it again. Okay. Application dot set variable, and it's a variable name, right? Variable name you can give 0 cal month if it is, and then Z. What name we have given actually? Z
So
date,
this
month name, something we have given.
so this is the name which you defined in global script, right?
Correct, yeah. So same variable name you need to use, and this is the variable you have defined in Bex. So just commenting this.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, and the next topic which we'll be discussing today is formatting of charts. So we Design Studio doesn't offer too many options for formatting of charts, and there are two type of charts. One is a chart component, another is an info chart component. If you want to alert info chart, let's first work with chart component. So I'll just hide it and put a chart component here. And let's assign a data source. This is department. And data is, we are showing only, let's say total count only. So, okay, 1 minute. Let's swap the access also. So we have department on the x-axis. So we have admin, HR, and so these headcounts, this is not working, some error, script validation error. I think we have not commented.
Rakesh, in a real-time scenario, you'll be working more on Vex side using Vex query. So can we have some live example working with Vex time?
Bex we have connected, right? I have shown you in one class how to connect to Bex and work it. Once you connect to
No,
Bex, right?
no, not connection. Using prompt and all the things which you said just now. You were left in between. Now we were about to create a prompt with question, and then we left that part.
Yeah. Okay, let me just try. In the next class we will do that, because today we need to cover the topics first. Yeah, like some topics are still pending. I'll take those.
Yeah.
Why this is not working here? Some issue. Okay, let me just see problems. Okay, we have defined some variables and we have changed its value. Okay, so now there is no issue. Yeah, so this admin data, it's 64,000, it's 61,000 something, it's 55 and 44. So let's put a condition that if it is more than 60,000, then show in green. If it is less than 60,000, show in red. So select the chart and there is a display property, conditional formatting. There you can define your rules. So your rule you can give, okay, rule for green, or you can say high. If my major value, that is total count, is greater than 60,000, then show me in green. This is my first rule. Second rule is this is for low. If total count is less than 60,000, show me in red. So it's very basic chart formatting available. You need to give hard-coded values only. You cannot put a dynamic value here that if it is more than some number which is coming from the database only. That kind of conditional formatting you cannot give. You need to hard code it. Okay. So you see this is more than 60,000. That's why green. This is again 60, more than 60,000 green. This is red and this is red. You change the values. So this is also 60, less than 60,000, it became red. So this way you can achieve conditional formatting in chart component, but it's very limited. It's not like other visualization tool. Other visualization tool has lot of capability and lot of, if you can compare actual and budget, if a budget is more than actual, then you show in red, or something like that kind of comparison you can do in other tools. But this tool is lacking in this particular feature, conditional formatting. Somewhat you can do it with backs. In backs you can put exceptions, right? So if you put backs exceptions, then you can use conditional formatting in info chart. In info chart you have this conditional formatting option. By default it is false. If you say true, that means if you are using conditional backs exceptions in your query, that backs exception will show on the chart. Everyone knows about backs exception?
No, I don't know.
Okay. What we'll do is, because let me just connect it to server. If I have some query over there, we can use that. Because from yesterday, I'm not able to connect to server. Yesterday night also I tried.
Why I was telling this backquery scenario, Narak, is because the upcoming assignment and most of the assignment in our organization in backquery only. Okay, and I don't have any experience on backquery side.
Okay. There is some issue with my account, so I have sent an email to server team. They have not responded it back. Once the server is up, we can work on back queries. So I'll show you the same thing using back queries, like exceptions and all. It's a BW
Then
code
let's
only,
keep,
but we'll keep the back query.
yeah, Rakesh, let's keep a session for more on backquery and design studio sometime. Okay, so we'll be more concentrated on that. Yeah.
Okay, so Thursday session will focus only on back queries. We'll use back query as our data source, and whatever topics we want to discuss, we'll discuss those topics on back query. So let me note it down. Backs. Okay, and the topics we want to discuss with backs is, one is variable, how to pass variable value, right?
Yeah.
Values. And
What are the limitations? What are the limitations we should be?
Limitations of backs.
Yeah, like what is like something which we are creating in backs and that cannot be achieved in design studio. Those type of things I'm looking.
If you
Like
can,
hierarchy.
See, there is only one limitation which I know is it has 5 lakh cells record, 5 lakh cells limitation. Okay, 5 lakh cells means if you edit any data source, right, you will see, okay, these are the 246 data cells. So if your data source has more data and if it is crossing more than 5 lakh cells, 5 lakh data cells, then it won't work in Design Studio. That is the limitation in terms of data, how much data it can handle. So right now you see we have this much of data, but it's overall it's saying 246 data cells. Okay. Similarly, it can have up to 5 lakhs data cells in one application, not in one data source. Sorry, not in one data source, in one application. So 246 plus you add another data source data cells 327. It should not cross more than 5 lakhs because we are using very small data sources. That's why the data set is very limited. It has 300 500 data cells only. But yeah, when you work in the real time,
Otherwise,
it will have in thousands. Mostly it will have in
okay.
thousands. But if you have if you are creating any back query on very granular level, that time it may have more data cells. So you need to limit your query also. It should not fetch more data cells, especially in lakhs. In thousands, it is okay.
Okay.
Okay, we'll try to see whatever we can do it with Bax query, wherever is Bax is required. Like for example, exceptions we'll see it through Bax. Cascading also will do it on server only because in local it is not working. Global anyways we have covered already. Properties of cross tab, it's very straightforward. So we'll just see and we'll go to one cross tab. You take any cross tab and on the right hand side we have so many properties. So you can go one by one and if something is not clear, you just let me know. Row limit, how many rows it should have. After that it will go to column, how many columns it should have, whether you want to selection is available or not. If you click on I think in some class somebody asked also, right, we can select from cross tab or not. So that selection you can enable. After that you can select whether you want to select a particular line, multiple lines, or a particular data cell only. So that kind of selection is available. Hover effect and all those properties, you can just play around with these properties. Another thing is in the cross tab you can do the formatting using CSS. So this is the default cross tab component. If you want to change the color of the department header only or gender header only, that part you can do it through CSS. So you use a CSS, you create a CSS file and assign the CSS class here. You can hard code the column widths also, but cross tab is not recommended to use when you want to display the dashboards on mobile devices. So don't use cross tab component on mobile devices, it's not supported. So most of the dashboards you will be creating without any cross tab component for display purpose. If you want to export the data, for that you use cross tab component, that's it. For display purpose, don't use cross tab components. If it is required and you don't have any other options available, then only use it. But it has very limit. When it comes to mobile devices, the behavior is not consistent. Okay, you can play around with the properties and you can just let me know if a particular property is not clear because there are so many properties. And most of the properties by name itself, you can identify. Another small topic today we'll be discussing is modifying chart properties with scripting.
Rakesh, is it possible if you can give an example of cross tab data being passed to a chart component? So, like for example, if we want to filter from cross tab to a chart.
Okay, so I'm just putting one cross tab on the first page itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the department, let's put that on department only. So what I'll do is I'll hide this chart also, and I'll put a cross tab here. So top margin 0, 0, 0, and auto height, auto width will not work with the cross tab. You can give, but it won't work properly. So you just give it, and you use the data source as department. So let's see, it's showing here. Now, if you click whatever query we have written, JavaScripting we have written, right? Same thing. No, we cannot do that. We'll modify this also. Cannot use the same script. So when we click on this cross tab, what should happen is all our data source should filter, and the data source should filter based on the selection. So first capture the selection where cross tab selection equal to.
You can just do it for a single chart.
Yeah.
You don't need to do it for all the charts. So I mean that's a smaller scenario. So
Okay. So get the same method, get selected member, and you can give the dimension. What dimension you want to select from that particular row is under department. Now you can put the same thing as a filter, like any other component. So CT underscore selection. So I'm just commenting other charts. Okay.
But Rakesh, it can be anything in a department or the other field.
Yeah.
There may be.
No,
Okay, so in that.
why I kept department is because we are clicking on a department. We are showing only department data. This here cross tab will show only department wise data. Right?
Okay, if I want to make it dynamic, like whatever the things it will pick and it will go accordingly, then.
No, we need to, we are working on the data source, right? So this data source will have all the dimensions. So we need to put the dimension name also. And from here also for display purpose, we need to, because this cross tab is assigned one data source. We have assigned a data source and it has all the dimensions, right? We need to tell that which dimension we are going to select.
Okay. Okay, so if in any requirement, okay, I just wanted to know, like when I'm selecting the dimension, which dimension I'm selecting, it should pop up me, like department or whatever. So can it be possible to get that? Is it
You
possible
can
to achieve?
use application.alert and you can say, okay, what is my selection is CT selection. Right now, this is my selection, right? So, okay, CT selection, what I'm doing is I'm getting a member, right? So from member, you get its text. Okay, and then display the text into. So what we'll do is first we'll complete one scenario. After that, we'll talk about your scenario. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's filter first, and after that, we'll pop up the selected value. Okay, we have not enabled the selection in the properties. Selection is none, so you can select single. Now you can select. So if you see the below chart, right, it's reflecting immediately because we have put the filter just for the country data source. Misbah, your point is clear?
Okay, all right. So you haven't placed that filter on the departments chart,
Yeah,
have you?
no. On other charts, I have not placed, just
Okay.
for one data source only.
Okay. I just wanted to see a visualization of the department chart, just to see if it's only admin, and then I can only see on charts, admin data, and
See,
so yeah.
so what we'll do is we'll put, okay. So it will show only one record after that. If we select, that record will only show in the cross tab. So if we select admin, only admin is shown.
Okay.
Okay. Now second point, okay, which they was asking is for a pop-up.
That's okay. I understood.
Okay.
Practice.
Fine.
I understood this one.
Okay, fine. Then yeah. Okay, already 7:03. We can take one more topic if everyone is okay. Or
Yes.
it's again very small topic only. It will take 5 minutes only. Translation of the dashboard. Okay, how do we translate? For example, our application. This is our application, and we have kept a text called geo analysis. But in other language, for example, French, it may be called as something else. So while developing, you will be developing a dashboard in English only because it is difficult to develop something in different language which you don't know. Testing becomes very difficult and all. So you develop everything in English and then give user an option to translate it into their language. How do you do that is using textful component. So as of now, what we have done is we have hard coded the value. Trend analysis we have hard coded. So instead of hard coding the value, what you do is you define these values into text pool. Text pool is a technical component. You need to add it. You can add only one textful component in an application. Once the text pool component is added in the properties, right hand side properties, in the display properties, you can go and add your text entries here. So you can insert, it's a key and text. You can give, okay, this is my text, and you can give key to anything. You can give, okay, ID1. You can define anything here. You can naming convention, you can follow, but it's better to use default. If you don't use default one, again you insert, again it will start from key one only. So it's better you start from key one only. And you can say geo analysis. So now these two values. So I'm just removing this. This is my text box button, and we'll assign these values at startup itself. So in the startup, what should happen is this text box, and we are assigning a text, set text. So earlier what we were giving is we can give here also geo analysis, right? So instead of that, what we will do is we'll assign the value from the text pool. So text pool dot key 1 or key 2. So we have assigned whatever is key 1, we have assigned that text to this trend text box. Okay, so text key 2 is geo analysis. So let's assign key 1 only, key 2. So once you do that, you are assigning only keys. Now you need to translate these keys. By default, you have given one language, English language. You have already given you in your application itself in the text pool. This is the default English language. For key 1, you use geo analysis. For key 2 you use trend analysis. Okay, now when user is running the application, he should see a different text. So where that different text value will give you, not in the Design Studio. Now Design Studio application you will be deploying on either on BI platform. When you deploy on BI platform mode, so there is a tool called translation management. Translation management tool. It comes with the BO client tools. It's a part of BO client tools, translation management tool. So you log in into translation management tool. You import your application, whatever application you are going to save, this application, right? You will be saving on BI platform. Open that application in translation management tool. It will give you an option which language you want to add. You add the language, then it will give you text, English, and for example you added German. So Germany. So text is geo analysis or key 1. English name is geo analysis. It will be there. Then you can give its German name ABC. Similarly key 2 trend analysis, and you can give value to German value. Once you prepare this data there in translation management tool, you export it. So when user is running the application, if his settings are German, he will see the German text. If his settings is English, he will see the English. On any other settings also, he will see the default English. So this is applicable for BI platform mode. When you talk about NetViewer, when you are working on NetViewer, most of the time you will be working on BI platform only, but sometimes people have deployed Design Studio on NetViewer. So in NetViewer mode, for translation, what you will do is you will go to SE63 area. In the GUI, right? I don't have server access. So in the GUI, you open the SAP logon pad, you connect to your BW, go to SE63 area.
Rakesh, is it possible if you can just show us in a different session, in detail, because I would want to understand translation management tool aspect, because I've done it in the past with Webby, but I'm still not clear with how this is going to work with Design Studio.
Okay,
So,
if you have done it with Webby, it is same as Webby, only in Webby also what you do is you import the Webby report into translation management tool, right? After that you add a language and then you give the text for that particular language, right? And you save it back, export it back.
Yeah.
Similarly, you do it, it's an object again. Webby is an object, Design Studio application is an object for BO server. From BO server point of view, both are objects only. So you can do the translation in same way. We'll see anyways, once the server is up, we can take this topic also there. No issues.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's quite relevant,
But yeah.
Okay, fine, guys. Then let me see if we can bring the server. Let me talk to server team. Then we'll talk this topic again. But at least from Design Studio side, it is clear where to add and how to add and how to use. Like we need to
So
add.
are you from using the text pool, you're hard coding a specific translation? Is that what you're doing? Is it?
Instead of direct hard coding the values on the component, what we can do is we can define keys and we can give text values to it, and then use the keys.
Okay, so can I add, for example, if it's in Arabic, can I just hard code the Arabic language and it will change on the execution time?
No. In the Design Studio, you'll be giving only English text. You won't be able to give Arabic text. It doesn't support Arabic. Maybe if you give, it is not supported by SAP. So
is there an option to add the language or something like that?
Sorry? No, in Design Studio,
is there an option?
No. While for a designer, you can develop applications only in English. Later on, you can translate it. based on the supported language, because BO also will support, it will not support all the languages, right? It will support for translation also, it will support only not few but most of the languages it will support, but not all.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So those languages are
It's
supported.
Arabic, right? BI platform supports Arabic.
Yeah, Arabic is supported. Some languages are
Yeah.
not supported and some particular characters are not supported. So those support that particular conditions applies here also.
Okay.
And some minimum version is also required if you are in BI platform, right? So if you are on 4.1, then you should be at least on 4.1 SP6. Then only Design Studio translation is supported. Minimum version is this. And on NetWeaver, I think it's 7.3 or something. That is minimum for translation for Design Studio applications.
Rakesh, what about the dynamic test? Like if yesterday, sorry, previous session we was discussing, like when they're clicking on particular chart. Okay, so
Yeah,
if role, if is a role,
correct.
then it will with the main header role will come.
Correct.
Okay, if it is some service line, with the main header service line will come. How we can control that?
No. Last time you told, right? You wanted to put new lines in the text box using CSS.
No, this is separate chapter. Okay. Previous session we were discussing that if you are clicking the chart object role, then with the main header role will come there, right? Right,
Oh,
human HR plus role. Okay. And like if you are clicking service line, then HR plus HR analysis plus service line will come. So I'm just wondering like how we can achieve it using this text pool. Okay,
text
because
pool.
this is dynamic.
Okay. This
Because
how
this is
what?
dynamic and text pool we are doing the static.
No. Text pool again. What you do is you define two keys. Okay.
Huh.
Key 3 and key 4. Key 3 I am assigned for role. Key 4 assigned for department. Okay. Then using if else condition, you do, if I click on role, you assign key 3 to a text button, right?
Mhm. Okay, so we
Understood?
have to we have to mandatory define the text box. I was thinking just simply instead of text box, I will write the text itself with the just concatenation way, like HR analysis plus the
No.
text, not
HR,
writing the text
correct,
box.
correct. So see this only human resource analysis only. Okay, let's see this. Your example only. If we click on role,
Huh.
okay, what is this but component name? This is TB title, right? TB title. Okay. So okay, this is my text, right?
Hmm.
So instead of this, you want human resource plus text pool.
Right, exactly.
So you can define it, right? Text pool dot key 4.
No, I don't want text pool. I just wanted to hard code the things there with condition, like if it is block, if you are clicking any option like service line, then service line would be hard coded instead of text box. You getting my point?
No,
No.
but see where you want to display this. You want to display somewhere, right? So you will use a component to display some component,
Okay.
right? So you need a
Component.
I'm using the same component only, title only I'm changing. So from this
Mhm.
title, the title next, when you click on role, the title will become this.
Okay, I will try this and will let you know. Okay, Rakesh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. See,
Okay, so
what we did is, see, new dashboard title. If you click on role, right, it will change the title. Human resource analysis, then role.
Right, right.
So the text pool 3 key is coming from the text pool now. The value is coming from the text pool.
Okay. And we are passing the same value in text. Okay,
Yeah.
and this we are converting to the specific language through our translation management tool, right?
Correct. Yeah, through translation management tool, or if you are a NetViewer through SE63 area, there you can translate it to a different language.
Okay, so means we need to note it down all the text which we are using nicely so that during translation management tool we can use it.
No.
Translate
While
it to
designing the application, you need to put all the text into text pool. So while translating, it's very easy. You just go here and see, okay, you need to give value for geoanalysis. What is the text for geoanalysis? You search it in Google or you get it from the customer. But
So I would say it's one of the best practices. Yeah.
while designing, you put everything into text pool first. Wherever you want to hardcode something, you put into text pool, use the key.
Okay.
So it becomes very easy for translation later on. Else, if your dashboard is ready and the translation requirements come in the last, right, then it becomes very difficult. There is a lot of rework. So to avoid the rework, you do some extra initially. So if someone asks for because it's very basic requirement, translation is very basic requirement.
Okay.
So you define everything into text pool as and when, and then you use that key.
Perfect. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. And another thing is, for example, you are writing, right? You will not remember always that what is my text key 3, right? In the script, you will not know. So you can give a comment. Key 3 is geoanalysis. So from maintenance point of view, it becomes easy. So if someone else is opening the dashboard, he will see, okay, this key 3 is nothing but geoanalysis or role. So he don't have to refer text pool back and forth. By looking at the code itself.
Rakesh,
Yeah.
so regarding the best practices for translated dashboards, would you recommend using text pool within the script and then use keys in the text pool to write the actual titles or text, whatever?
See, best practice is wherever you want to write any text, whether it's on text box or you want to display something on chart, any text, hard-coded text, which value you are giving, the value you are giving from Design Studio design. As a Design Studio designer, you are giving the value. You give that value first to add that value into text pool first of all.
Okay.
Okay. Especially dashboard title, even dashboard title also. You say key 5 is my dashboard
Okay.
title, human resource analysis. And then use key 5 wherever you want to define. For example, if you want to
Exactly.
define your title here on the startup, so don't give any hard-coded values anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So here the title you give text pool. This is best practice. So later on, while if someone asks, okay, I want to translate my dashboard, it becomes very easy for you guys. You say, okay, this is the translation list I want. Once end user gives you the list, translated list, you just go to that either translation management tool or NetViewer, and it's a one-day job, less than a day job, basically. Else if
Is
dashboard
it
is,
possible if you can give us a demo, while translating through the translation management tool, the same dashboard with a few, few titles, bunch of titles, 5 titles, and then,
uh,
Yes. Yes.
let's see if
yeah.
I can get the server access, and that server I need to check whether it's on, because the minimum requirement is it should be on SP6 at least. So I'm not sure about the server. If you guys have the server, this BI platform, do you guys have the server where we can test this, or you guys can test it, and if there is any issue, you let me know. That is also okay, because the
Do you have
server
any documentation on the
translation,
translation management tool and integrating it with the Design Studio?
you will not find straightforward documentation. I think Studio. I think now maybe people have posted also. So this blog is also saying the same thing. Okay, this blog is, I'll just go through this blog. Maybe we have added the text pool component. Okay, then you inserted the keys and given the new button or whatever text you wanted to give. Then you have set the button text to text pool dot key1. Okay, and then from translation management tool, from the client tools, VO client tools, translation management tool, you run the tool, import the strings to translate from the repository, like the way you do it for Webby report. So instead of selecting Webby report, this time you select your dashboard and then click on add. It will list here that these are the objects you want to translate. Click on finish, it will open. Once it opens here, you see the default English language here, the English language text. You can add the languages from the bottom, that which language you want to add. He has added Germany. Once you add the Germany, it will appear as a column. Then that time you can give against each text, you can give a value, German value. Then export the translated strings back. Then you run your launchpad and see your, and then for testing purpose what you can do is you can change your local settings to German. If it is default English, you can change it to Germany and then run the dashboard from the launchpad. So if you run in English, it's new button. Okay, so this is translated, right? This is Germany only. Right, so this is done for BI platform mode. So this is done for BI platform mode, not for net. He has not explained it for NetViewer. But this is this clear? Or if the server is ready, then we'll do the same thing on the server also. Okay, guys.
Yes, Rakesh.
So then I'll take more time than will.
Rakesh, one quick minute I want.
Yeah.
Rakesh, in previous class you have shown for the help like clicking the component. Okay, how to, if I want to make the help specific to the component, you have shown something like some counter. I was trying to see that, but I couldn't able to get that point.
Okay. So what we did is using if else condition, right? We used if else condition.
Yes, specific to component. Like if I'm clicking role and then I will click help, it should give help about
Correct.
role.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why we had the counter, I guess. I was just
you use
worrying.
counter.
Okay. So what you can do is you can define a counter selection. Okay, one, and then based on component, like for example, role, right? You can assign its value, change its value to count selection becomes 2 or role. So now on the help button, you can write if else condition. If it count selection is 1, then display this text. If count selection is 2, display the role help. If count selection is 3, like that you can write if else condition.
Okay. So after every click on the component, we have to make it 0 also, na? You have to reset the count, right?
No, not required, right? I'm not increasing the count, right? I'm just setting the value always. So whenever you click on roll, it will always be 2 only. I'm not adding count plus 1.
Okay, it's getting reset automatically when I'm clicking the specific component.
Yeah. So if another component you are clicking, for this component, we can say, okay, count equal to 6.
Got it. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. You guys need this application for your practice because whatever we did today.
Yes, please send me. Send us.
Okay, then I'll send it this also.
And rest other things I am waiting, Rakesh, please. That new line wrap and new line and dynamic.
Yeah, let me get some time and I'll search it on this definitely. If I find something, definitely I'll share it with you guys, definitely.
No, that top 5, top 6, I have sent the code to you. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I've seen that code and I have not implemented. I need to implement and see like whether it's technically, like logically, it looks like it should work, but I need to test it.
yeah.
Okay, guys. Then, if any other question is there, you just drop me an email, consolidate everything, and drop me an email. So we'll discuss those things in the last or second last class. Those 2 classes we'll discuss those topics.
Okay.
Okay, fine, guys. Then we'll connect tomorrow at the same time, same meeting link. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.